Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian at Kingston, your host for the next half hour. It's a new year, new opportunities, new challenges, but also a new resolve to become the best possible version of yourself. Today's program has a bit of old and new, but when combined, can leave you inspired to make 2017 your best year yet. So let's start the magazine with a word of advice, followed by the news.
We want a productive Jamaica. We all are productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, pathway to prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Good day, I am Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Monday, January 9. Government today signed letters of exchange for the construction of a children's hospital in Western Jamaica. It was signed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the People's Republic of China. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith says the agreement outlines both governments' commitment to the management and sustainability of the project,
including the design of the facility, the support and supply and importation of construction machinery, equipment and materials.
I hope that this project will open more opportunities of cooperation between our two countries, and I wish to congratulate you all for such a good project.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the construction of the hospital will strengthen the sector's capacity to provide health care for the more vulnerable.
The Children's Hospital in the Western region will provide some 220 new beds, among other critical services. The hospital will seek to achieve the vision of developing an international center of excellence, which will cater to the needs of our children. The facility will integrate the values of family-centered care into the design and operation, a first of its kind in Jamaica, and I believe also in the Caribbean.
Jamaica has identified 2 imported cases of malaria since the beginning of 2017. The first case, which was confirmed by the National Public Health Laboratory on January 5, is a Jamaican national who was living in Ghana and returned to the island in November 2016. The second case is a male Indian national who arrived in Jamaica in March 2016. That case was reported by a private laboratory on January 6, but repeat blood smear done for this patient at the National Public Health Lab have so far showed negative. The Ministry of Health says blood will be drawn nightly for at least 3 nights to determine the status of this patient. In the meantime, both persons have been admitted to hospital as case investigation continues. The ministry has also commenced vector control activities, including 3 consecutive nights of fogging blitz in close proximity to the patient's homes, which will be repeated weekly for 3 cycles. Community fever surveillance is also underway. Following an outbreak in 2006 and successful re-elimination in 2009, Jamaica was reinstated on the official register of areas where malaria eradication has been achieved in 2012. In 2016, there were 3 cases of confirmed imported malaria in 2 persons. One of the individuals visited Gabon twice and returned to Jamaica with malaria on both occasions. The ministry is urging Jamaicans to be cautious when traveling to areas affected by malaria. The appointment of 6 judges to serve in the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court took effect today. They were sworn in on Friday at King's House. In her address, Chief Justice Zayla McCalla reiterated the call for judges to deliver judgments speedily, embrace new reforms being advanced by the Justice Ministry, and continue to maintain the high standard of professionalism.
And I urge judges to continue to exercise restraint as you work assiduously under difficult circumstances to complete your various assignments. Continue to serve with dignity and diligence, remembering always that the timely resolution of their disputes is at the forefront of the minds of those who seek the services of our courts.
She congratulated the newest additions to the bench. The Transport Authority is reminding public transport operators that the special offer to apply for 5,719 road licenses will close this Friday, January 13. Transport Minister Mike Henry made the offer on November 1 last year to satisfy the increasing demand for public transportation services in the country. It includes 435 Hackney carriages, 200 rural stage carriages, 5,034 route taxis, 50 contract carriages, and 20 newly created routes. The Transport Authority says those who have already taken advantage of the special offer and who qualify for the 3-month waiver of road license fees will receive 2 road licenses. The first will be issued upon approval and will expire on March 31, 2017. The second expires March 31, 2018 and will be issued at no additional cost when the first license expires. Persons who are providing public transportation services without the necessary road licenses are being urged to take advantage of this opportunity to legalize their operations and avoid prosecution. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
We have a subculture that supports those who do not inform, an anti-informer culture that pervades our entire society that we must break down.
Informing, educating, entertaining. That's what we do. Keep watching Jamaica Magazine.
Today marks the first day of the new term for most schools, and Education Minister Senator Reid is encouraging the nation to partner with the ministry to find solutions to the challenges facing the sector. Hear more next.
Good evening. Happy New Year to all staff, students, parents, school board members, and indeed all stakeholders in our education system. I greet you from the historical site of the Institute of Jamaica, established in 1879 by Sir Anthony Musgrave, then Governor of Jamaica. The Institute was set up for the encouragement of literature, science, and art in Jamaica, and as such was designed to help government in the promotion and preservation of culture in the island. I believe this setting provides a good backdrop for reflection on our journey towards a collective partnership in local education. We all serve a great and noble purpose, that is the emancipation of the mind. As we begin this new year, 2017, let us do so with a renewed sense of hope and belief in our collective abilities to find sustainable solutions to the seemingly insurmountable challenges in our education sector. If you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life, said Marcus Garvey, our first national hero. Our call to action is clear. A national acceptance of Marcus Garvey's ideas for social, political, and economic advancement is key to achieving the Vision 2030 target, where Jamaica is a place of choice to live, do business, and raise families. I firmly believe that Jamaica's best days are ahead. This new year will give us the opportunity to consolidate and finalize policy positions to support improved performance and quality in the system. We intend to support legislative changes to allow for programs and entities to be more inclusive and efficient. We also intend to provide greater support to our school leaders and teachers to improve the performance and general development of students, but also to cater to the varied welfare needs. We have already started to roll out our examination preparation strategies, as each cohort is different, but we intend to customize education to suit the needs of each student, giving him or her the opportunity to maximize his or her potential. Last September, we had one of the smoothest starts to the school year. This was not by accident. We at the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information ensured that our funds were released to our schools in June, the earliest ever. Most school repairs were done early. We increased the capital budget by approximately $700 million. This allowed the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information to satisfy the needs of more than 200 schools in time for the beginning of the school year. In addition, several meetings were held with education stakeholders to iron out misunderstandings regarding this administration's policy to abandon compulsory auxiliary fees at the secondary level. Our secondary schools are today better funded. Our upgraded schools that were accustomed in many instances to 20 or 30% compliance in the payment of auxiliary fees are breathing a sigh of relief. Thousands of parents were given a financial lifeline. Now, I wish to thank all education stakeholders who assisted with the implementation of the abolition of the compulsory auxiliary fee policy. We have surmounted a major hurdle as a country. This administration believes that education is a public good. That is why we increased the funding to secondary institutions from $2.6 billion to $5.3 billion for the 2016-2017 academic year. Closer partnership among education stakeholders facilitated the timely implementation of a national standards curriculum last September. The major focus of the national standards curriculum is differentiated instructions to facilitate more effective learning. Initial assessment of the national standards curriculum so far shows that teachers are appreciative of this new approach to teaching and learning. We will be giving greater support to technological inputs to support the national standards curriculum in the coming months. Safety in our schools continues to be a major priority. During 2016, just over 1,000 school representatives, including deans of discipline, were given additional training to help them carry out their functions with improved efficiency. Periodic training will continue in 2017. More school support officers are being identified and trained and will be deployed into the school system after discussions with school leaders. We will continue the pilot school bus service from Pepin to Halfway Tree and other sections of the corporate area this year. Education stakeholders have given a positive feedback to this initiative. Talks are far advanced on the matter of a national school bus service. Those discussions will continue this year against the background of available resources. We all have a role to play in school safety. Parents must ensure that they know where their children are and who they are with at all times of the day. I encourage all parents to visit their children's school periodically. Parents, I implore you to set wholesome examples for your children. You cannot, as a parent, play moral Russian roulette and simultaneously expect your children to be models of good behavior. Parents, remember to monitor homework. Fathers, please remember that your role is not limited to providing economic support. Parents, I beg you to remember that your children should not and cannot be held hostage to personal feuding and relationship disputes. Our children are precious. Students, don't forget that you are all responsible for your learning. You, in large measure, write your recommendation for the future. Leave adult activities to adults and focus on your schoolwork. This administration believes in the importance of nutrition. We are committed to children on the PATH program receiving a healthy meal each school day. Children who are sent to school hungry have a harder time learning. Studies have shown that investment in nutrition is a win-win for any country. For every dollar invested in nutrition, a country can expect to get $16 back in increased productivity, according to a 2016 Global Nutrition Report. We launched the Alternative Pathway to Secondary Education initiative in March last year, and already we are getting good feedback from the schools. The program is providing a new approach to teaching to ensure that every student gets the best opportunity to learn and succeed. Some $800 million is being spent to better the lives of thousands of young Jamaicans who need a second and sometimes even a third chance to discover themselves and to become the best that they can be through the Career Advancement Program, CAP, which now has an enrollment of close to 10,000 students and graduated just over 1,000 last December. I am pleased to announce that the historic Vocational Associate degree was launched in December. This will give our technical and vocational students an opportunity to advance their career through this pathway, making them more marketable and ready for the world of work. This achievement is in line with this administration's intention to ensure that by age 30, our people, at a minimum, have at least an associate degree. We are well advanced with the streamlining of the Career Advancement Program to facilitate greater alignment with the needs of our labor market. Discussions are now taking place with a view to merging the functions of the Hard Trust NTA, the National Youth Service, Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning, and several other related programs and entities. Consistent with this administration's conviction that education should center on the emancipation of the mind, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information is spending approximately $800 million on textbooks this school year. We continue to support our youth as they make the transition into adulthood. The historic staging of the Youth Parliament last November is now paving the way for other youth engagement sessions. We will continue to increase uniform groups and support youth clubs that can be of great positive influence on each other. We're well advanced with the streamlining of various entities to attain greater levels of efficiency and greater alignment with the needs of our labor market. The remaining 69 schools which continue to utilize pit latrines will have their water closets completed during this year through partnerships with the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, Food for the Poor, and non-governmental organizations. As we embrace the opportunities and challenges of a new term, we all must redouble our efforts to help Jamaica create a world-class education system which enables every Jamaican to achieve his or her full potential. Up, you mighty race. You can accomplish what you will, said Marcus Garvey. Let's rise and achieve. I wish for all Jamaicans a peaceful and prosperous New Year.
It's been 11 months.
7 years. 12 years.
Since I became the most important person in the world.
It's a big responsibility to know that her future is in our hands.
I have to tell him and show him that he is my #1. I want to prepare them for life's journey. So as them grow, them know the difference between right and wrong.
I gotta make sure we keep him out of bad company. Because if I don't raise him right, the streets are gonna raise him. I feel, she feel.
If me stumble, him fall. Knowing I'm responsible for their future and they're responsible for Jamaica's future.
So I won't give up or allow her to quit. I'm gonna make sure I'm stay on the straight and narrow.
Me prefer to tell them no now than watch them regret it later.
Because to the world, I'm just another person. But to my child, I'm the whole wide world.
The Jamaica Information Service, JIS, your #1 source of government information. Tell your friends and keep watching.
In 2016, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information continued its quest to ensure that every student gets an opportunity to prosper. Last year, the ministry removed mandatory auxiliary fees at the secondary level.
The term auxiliary fee and the request for auxiliary fees can in fact be extinguished.
And the budgetary allocations for secondary schools was increased from $2.6 billion to $5.3 billion. The ministry increased its efforts to cater to different learners and rolled out a new alternative pathway to secondary education in 2016.
The alternative pathway to secondary education
will be guided by a philosophy which is interactive and learner-centered, and ensure that every student gets his or her opportunity to achieve in the selected areas of learning.
All our students need to be engaged in the education system until they are age 18 and beyond.
Recognizing that children learn best by doing, the ministry designed and implemented a new national standard curriculum. Grades 1, 4, 7, 8, and 9 started using the curriculum in September, and over 13,000 teachers were trained to deliver this curriculum. Under the new curriculum, grade 4 students started preparing for the Primary Exit Profile, PEP. This exam will replace GSAT in 2019.
The advantage of that is the student will be much better prepared for the high school curriculum.
For 2016, the Education Ministry continued its drive to take schools off the shift system and ensure that children have a more engaging learning environment. Many educational facilities at all levels were upgraded. At the early childhood level, the Union Gardens Basic School was officially opened. A new infant department was opened at the Runaway Bay All-Age School. The infant department at the Holy Family Primary and Infant School got an $8.9 million upgrade. And Banana Ground Primary got a new building. At the primary level, Barracks Road Primary got a new classroom block which cost $25 million. Ocheria's Primary received 8 new classrooms, and Mandeville Primary got an additional 12. While at the secondary level, Titchfield High School in Portland got 6 new classrooms. There were improvements this year in 4 of the 5 GSAT subjects, while in the CSEC examinations, students did better in 14 subjects. Several initiatives were launched to improve students' math and science grades. A Mathematics, Science and Technical Vocation Scholarship Program was launched in September. Primary school students were introduced to calculation time. The program incorporates the use of songs, toys, workbooks, domino cards, and an online application with an aim to get students to better appreciate math. In November, the ministry engaged young people in the decision-making process with the launch of a Youth Advisory Council.
We value the positive contributions of our youth, and they are a vital part of the decision-making process. They are the change agents and need to play a direct role in shaping and influencing policies and programs that will affect them.
Under the information portfolio, the Creative Production and Training Center relaunched and rebranded its cable channel as Jam Vision to share content devoted to Jamaican stories and experiences. And the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica received an optical digital archiving system, which will allow the entity to convert analog materials into a digital format. In 2016, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information laid the foundation for the success of our students. It aimed to change the game and energize the wave of prosperity.
Parents, assist your children with their schoolwork. That means help. Don't do it for them. Every assignment, such as school-based assessments, SBAs, should be written and researched by the students. Doing the assignment is not helping your child, but rather teaching him or her to take shortcuts and even being dishonest.
SBAs are expected to be developmental. They are aligned to the syllabus, and it is really to assist the students in developing those fundamental concepts for them to do well in the examination itself.
Doing your child's assignment is a breach of the educational regulations, which carry severe sanctions. Be of help. Don't be dishonest.
Follow the building regulations. Check buildings for cracks, weaknesses, and defective electrical wiring. Securely anchor overhead objects such as chandeliers and fluorescent bulbs. Practice earthquake drills and develop an evacuation and emergency plan.
January is Earthquake Awareness Month, and we here at the JIS encourage you to get all the information you can about surviving this unpredictable natural disaster. For more information, visit the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management at odpem.org.jm. And even as you get disaster preparedness tips, get a refresher course on the devastation an earthquake can cause.
Air distilled, suspended animation, moment transfixed. 3:30 p.m. Monday, January 14, 1907, etched invariably in history as the instant that Kingston was changed forever.
At 3 o'clock, God is going to speak. And then, of course, at 3:30, about 3:30, the earthquake struck. I saw this building before. Now this is what it looks like. This is what the quake did.
Kingston destroyed by earthquake. Let them know what had happened to their city, what had happened to the capital of Jamaica.
Just 3 days after the great earthquake of 1907 struck downtown Kingston, several news headlines painting desolate pictures of the city were being circulated in the international press. Several images of 1907 were relayed to foreigners: utilities downed, scavengers in rubble, Kingstonians dazed at the fate which had befallen their city. Many of the more poignant depictions of Kingston circa January 14, 1907, therefore, remained outside of the city and Jamaica for decades.
It's what Jamaicans were sending out to the outside world that has survived. You know, there's really very little that has survived in Jamaica itself, except, of course, what the National Library has collected.
The event is one of the most reported of its time and ranks highly on the list of the best photographed. Telegraph and postal services were limited by the disaster, and so the foreign media had to improvise when compiling pictures to accompany their breaking headlines. They commissioned artists to create their own impressions of what Kingston looked like in the wake of the earthquake. Jamaica, however, had its own assembly of photographers who captured several post-quake images and, amazingly, managed to develop and salvage the collection. Dr. Boxer collaborated with Wayne Modest, director of the Museums of History and Ethnography, a division of the Institute of Jamaica, to bring all the disparate images of the great Kingston earthquake together as part of a photographic installation to commemorate the centenary of the event.
As we look back, we wanted to offer the exhibition as a kind of visual narrative for people to help make the reference. So it is here for you to see and say, what if this happens again, that kind of thing. How did we respond to it in 1907? And so utilizing that as a starting point, it can start a lot of discussion about many things.
And that's how we close out Jamaica Magazine, but only for today. The program returns tomorrow around about the same time on this station. We maintain a strong online presence, so visit our website, jis.gov.jm, join us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube page, or send us an email, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.